Ferrari didn't hire a savior, they crowned a god. And now, Maranello is bleeding from within. Christian Horner wasn't fired, he was executed. And the trigger? Pulled by the Verstappens, with a smile. And while all this burns, F1 still can't fix its most pathetic failure: tires that melt in the rain in 2025. Welcome back to the only channel where we don't filter the politics, the power plays, or the punches. This isn't Drive to Survive, this is what they don't want you to see. Because this season isn't just chaos, it's a full-blown identity crisis. The foundations of Formula One are cracking. So hit subscribe, fasten your belts, and get ready, because we're about to dive headfirst into 3 scandals so explosive, they're already rewriting F1 history. Let's start with the biggest question no one at Maranello dares to ask out loud. Is Lewis Hamilton already too big for Ferrari to handle? According to Guenther Steiner, yes, that Guenther, the man who once shouted, "We look like wankers" on Netflix, Hamilton is the only man in Formula One bigger than the machine he drives. And Steiner didn't drop this bombshell over drinks. He said it on a business podcast, fully aware it would light up the F1 world. In Formula One, the only one above a team is Lewis Hamilton. It's almost a conflict. Who is bigger, Ferrari or Lewis? Let that sink in for a second. Ferrari, the most successful, most revered, and most politically protected team in the history of Formula One, might be in conflict with the very driver they brought in to save them from irrelevance. The hype was instant. The moment he signed, Ferrari stock surged nearly 10%. That's billions added in market cap overnight. You don't sign Lewis Hamilton, you invest in him. The problem? So far, the returns look flat. 5 races in, and the SF25 has shown flashes of brilliance, mostly in Leclerc's hands, but Hamilton, he's been stuck in P6s and P7s, not the stuff Ferrari fans dreamed of when they bought those 44 caps in red. His radio messages have grown colder, post-race interviews sharper. The smile is still there, but the frustration is peeking through, and F1 insiders say the mood inside the garage is already tense. Some Ferrari Tifosi are already whispering, did we sign a 7-time world champion or a 7-time distraction? And again, Steiner hits that nerve. I don't think Ferrari needs Lewis's star power. They're already the biggest brand in racing. They need results. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Lewis isn't just a driver anymore. He's a global brand, a political voice, an activist, a fashion mogul, a UN ambassador, a shareholder in the Denver Broncos. He's launching movie projects with Brad Pitt, walking runways in Paris, and making headlines far beyond the paddock. And Ferrari? Ferrari is the Vatican of motorsport. Tradition, control, silence. They don't do Instagram activism. They do quiet domination, or at least they used to. The clash was inevitable. Even team insiders have admitted anonymously that there is a culture gap we didn't fully anticipate. In plain terms, Ferrari operates like a cathedral. Lewis operates like a startup CEO. And now, with Charles Leclerc out-qualifying him almost every weekend and finishing ahead more often than not, questions are surfacing. Is the car really built for him? Is the team truly behind him? Or is this another Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari story with all the hype, none of the payoff? And here's another data point to chew on. During the Emilia-Romagna GP, Ferrari team radio accidentally broadcast a comment referring to managing Lewis's expectations after FP2. It was quickly deleted from official transcripts, but not before journalists caught it. Even that tells a story. Ferrari is already walking on eggshells around their superstar, and fans have noticed. #44 banners are everywhere, but so are the boos when he underperforms. Tifosi don't wait. They want wins, not just headlines. And maybe the most important question of all, what happens when the world's most iconic team tells the world's biggest driver to fall in line, and he says no? Because if this war of egos escalates, and right now it's simmering, we may not just be witnessing a failed partnership. We might be watching the implosion of Ferrari's entire 5-year plan. And Lewis? He didn't come here to be Leclerc's wingman. He came to make history. But history doesn't care about branding. It cares about results. And so far, the only thing this marriage has produced is tension.
We've covered the driver drama. Now let's talk about something even more ridiculous. and way more embarrassing. Formula One still can't race in the rain. You heard that right. It's 2025, and when the skies open up, the world's most advanced racing series might as well pack up and go home. Why? 2 words: Pirelli tires. The full wets? Absolutely useless. But don't take my word for it. Ask Max Verstappen. The man straight up refuses to use full wets unless the circuit turns into a canal tour of Venice. At Silverstone, drivers were literally begging to stay on intermediates while aquaplaning in real time. Why? Because the full wets have the grip of a bar of soap on an ice rink. And here's the kicker. Pirelli thought it was just an aquaplaning issue, so they added more grooves. Smart, right? Wrong. Those extra grooves, they made the tread blocks smaller, too flexible, too soft, so they overheated, melted, and slid through corners like they were driving on lava. Mario Isola, head of motorsport for Pirelli, actually said this out loud. "It seems like a joke, but it's true." No, Mario, it is a joke, just not the funny kind. This is a billion-dollar sport, and yet the wet tires are so bad that drivers would rather hydroplane than trust the full compound designed for these conditions. And here comes the irony. 2026 is supposed to be the reset. New cars, new regulations, new tires. But here's the real question. If Pirelli can't get one tire right in over a decade, how exactly are they going to reinvent all of them in 12 months? Testing? Don't even get me started. Pirelli can't test in the rain unless it actually rains. No sprinklers, no artificial wet runs, just vibes and a weather forecast. This isn't Formula One anymore. This is Formula Roulette. And now, the big one. Red Bull has detonated, and the man holding the detonator might just be named Max Verstappen. Christian Horner, the architect, the face, the iron hand of Red Bull, is gone. Fired just days after the British Grand Prix, and before walking out the door, Horner left behind a cryptic warning. One day, there will be no more Max. At first, it sounded like a casual remark, but in hindsight, it was a prophecy. What followed was a massacre. The Red Bull empire, once unstoppable, is crumbling at the edges, and the cracks all trace back to one name: Max. Behind the garage doors, there's been a silent war, not between teams, but within Red Bull Racing itself. According to Martin Brundle, Max Verstappen's camp, led by his notoriously fiery father Jos Verstappen, has been lobbing grenades behind the scenes for months. Behind closed doors, they questioned Horner's decisions, demanded more control, and allegedly pushed for internal reshuffling. Sources suggest Jos even met with Red Bull's board members separately, bypassing Horner entirely. That's not just politics, that's a coup. And here's where it gets Shakespearean. Red Bull sacrificed everything for Max. They built the RB19 and RB20 around his style. They iced out Daniel Ricciardo. They reduced Sergio Perez to a wingman. They signed Max until 2028 with a contract rumored to have multiple veto powers. Max wasn't just their star driver. He was the project. But now, without Horner, the one man who held it all together, Red Bull's entire structure is collapsing under the weight of its own success. Whispers from Brackley, home of Mercedes, say they're readying a throne. Yes, Toto Wolff has been watching, waiting, and maybe even texting. Because if Max does jump ship, it won't just be the most shocking driver transfer in modern F1, it'll be a move that could reshape the grid for years to come. And don't forget, Red Bull's parent company, headquartered in Austria, is still dealing with internal politics of its own. The split between the Thai shareholders and the Austrian board has created a leadership void, one that Verstappen's camp seems keen to exploit. Let's not sugarcoat it. This isn't just a team drama. This is a civil war. And when the smoke clears, one of two things will remain. Either Red Bull survives without Horner, or it falls apart, with Max standing alone on the ruins. The irony? The very driver they protected at all costs may have been the one that tore it all down. So, here we are. Ferrari's on fire. Red Bull is in mutiny. And Pirelli? Still hydroplaning through F1's biggest embarrassment. The 2025 season isn't just chaos, it's a full-blown reckoning. A year where dynasties crumble, alliances break, and legends start to fall. But trust me, we're just getting started. Because next week, we're exposing the secret meeting between a top F1 team and a banned ex-team boss, and how it could spark the biggest scandal the FIA has ever faced. Hit that subscribe if you want to stay 10 laps ahead. Like if you think Pirelli's time is up, and tell us in the comments, is Lewis already regretting red? Did the Verstappens pull the trigger on Horner? And should F1 ditch wet tires once and for all? This is Fuel Factor, where F1's dirty laundry gets aired one episode at a time.